This is the video about how to assemble your geared bookmark. It's a pretty easy assembly process. I suspect most of you will be able to figure it out, but we definitely want to make the video for those of you who need just a little bit of help. And as always, follow along. I don't think there's too much here that's unexpected. I'm going to open my package, and what you'll notice in it is you do have a set of screw hardware. Make sure you put that aside to have it ready for when you're ready to assemble. And then you've got 2 pieces of wood, dunk, dunk, and 2 gears. And I'm going to open up my gear bag as well here. And in my bag, and in terms of decorating, the one thing you want to know is you're going to want to decorate both the front and the back of most of the bookmark, although there's one little section here you won't be able to see the back of very well. And I've made the size of the inside of these flowers, a little smaller, so they're actually going to overlap, so you want to make sure you decorate the inside of this, at least around the cutouts, to be sure that you can get some fun with that 2 layers of size difference there. And then you're going to decorate the back of this and the rest of this. And make sure you sand it well. It's a little thick, but for most people's books, that'll be fine as a bookmark. And finally, you've got 2 gears. And again, you're going to want to decorate both sides of those gears because you're going to be able to see all these parts from behind and from through the other side. So start with sanding very smoothly to make it nice to feel, because you're definitely going to play with this one a lot. And then come back and watch the rest of the video on how to assemble it. Now that you've decorated your bookmark, it's time to put it together. And if you're a new subscriber, I'm going to especially recommend you start with this one. We'll actually put a note on this website. Yes, because we're going to teach you a little bit about making sure you put your screws loosely. So I've now opened my bag of hardware. It's 2 screws and 2 nuts. These are 3/8" screws. So what we're going to do first is put the gears on. And then once we put the gears on, we'll go ahead and glue the front and the back together. The reason I have this back here is to give you a little shelf to put it in your book. So first thing you want to know is I'm just going to give you 2 minutes on gears. Elliptical gears are the ones that are off-centered with the hole. So this one is actually a 2nd order elliptical gear, and they do them with different shapes. So this one has 2 sections, and this one has 6. So a 2nd order and a 6th order elliptical gear. If you care, you can read more about them, but it's kind of fun to know that when you're talking to somebody. Now, the other thing I did was, as I talked about in the original video, on the back I've made the sections smaller as they get stacked up, so you've actually got a little bit of alignment between them. So just so you know as you put it together, so all you're going to do is set this first gear on here, put the screw through into the back, and that hole is small enough that you may need to actually use your screwdriver to put it in. That'll give you nice, perfect alignment. Make sure everything lines up perfectly, so go use your screwdriver to do that. And just tighten it up enough so that it spins nice and smoothly. The secret to putting gears together when we're doing them this way is loose, loose, loose. So I'm going to give myself just a little bit of level there. And now the way these go together, and we're going to test this before we glue anything down, is this wants to go to one of the points. So you're going to pick a point, put that middle section of that 2nd order elliptical right there, if you can do it without letting it fall off. And again, I'm just going to screw it in, and I'm only actually going to twist it in a couple of turns first. Come on. There we go. Find the right hole to make sure it actually is spinning all the way around. And if I do it from this gear, once I get it tightened down, I think I'll be perfect. It was trying to twist out and escape me. So now I know I'm at the right place, so I'll tighten it down. Again, leave it nice and loose to make sure everything is good and perfect. And then as I spin it around, you'll notice that it's fitting perfectly and slipping and sliding around the gear nicely. Everything is smooth and perfect, just the way we like it when we spin our gears. And then I'm going to go flip it over, and I'm going to put a dot of glue on it. On the threads. This is my way that we make sure those screws and nuts don't slip off. And since we've got all of our looseness on the front this time, I can actually put the backs to pretty tight and make sure that the fronts stay nice and loose. And then we've got a pretty little bookmark. And now that we're done, the last thing we want to do, there we go, is glue the back on. So this is going to get glued right like this. So we'll put a little bit of glue on this around the outside, and we'll glue it down and line it up perfectly so that we don't have a problem. You've got a few seconds to realign things if you need to. And there you go, a perfect little bookmark to play with, put in your book, and use when you need to keep track of where you are. Thanks so much.